Hello everybody and welcome to Papillon. It's glorious weather. We've had a really good run of it. It's up in its 30s, which is unusual for this part of the country. We're lucky to be in the 20s, mid-20s, but here we are. It's 32, 33 today, which suits me just fine. So I'm just going to have a wander around through the top end of this nursery area of Papillon, and we'll have a look quite closely at something that Ramazan pointed out to us. And I'm tagging that on to the front of this video, so I'll go from here to conversation with Ramazan, and then we'll pick it back up afterwards. I've just taken a little sidetrack into this forest to see what I could see, and I came across this, and I was very much guided. You see how the sunlight is on here. It was literally just like somebody putting a lamp on in the forest. You cannot imagine how dark this forest is. The camera is compensating for it, but it is much, much darker visually than it looks. So we have had a lot of signals and information that we find in our forests, which is, I think, related to Futhark. Similar type of ancient Celtic writing. Very ancient. Now, I have come across much of this in the forest, so I do believe that they use a mixture of these. So I asked if Athenian Dasyagea or a back was available, and I was told, she said, you should speak to your local people here. So I asked, and the local name I was given was Ramazan. I'm not sure if the last letter of that is M-U-S-U-N or O-N, but R-A-M, possibly U-S-O-N, and he is a male in his 40s. He's not the leader of the clan, but he has been appointed to help me with anything that I need. Any assistance, questions that I need. So thank you, Ramazan. So what we'll have to do is have to have a closer look at this Ogham, because I do believe that Ogham, it's druidal as well, it's what druids used for communication. I do believe it's connected. So all the sirens you can hear, I'm not very far from a main road, probably about 6 miles from a main road. Isn't that wonderful? That's what I mean about, in all of this darkness, and I was walking on a path nearby, it was as if somebody shone a light for me. And I take these as signals of information to have a look at. So I'm asking if this family here is related in any way to a Bax family, and the answer I get is no. But they do communicate. He represents some of our requirements. Well, that's worth knowing. Have a look at this. It's just like a fungal plant of some kind. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that just fantastic colour-wise? Beautiful. And you know what this is? It begins with S and ends in Y. It's just not natural, is it? So I've got some Braeburn, lovely Braeburn apples, and then these incense. Like I say, what I will do is I will throw some water over those before I leave so they're completely extinguished. Hazelnuts, some chocolate bars, which you have no idea how hard it was to carry those without losing the odd one in my pocket. And some almonds. Then some dates. These are really lovely dates. And then some walnuts. Some tomato and jalapeno sardines. And the peanut butter. So, ding-a-ling. You'll be able to hear that from miles away. I mean, they could hear that right at the other side of the forest. You have to put your hands over your ears, folks, 'cause it's really loud. Sorry, it's really, really loud. Good God, it's pathetic, isn't it? I thought the children might like it, but I'm thinking about getting some really big wind chimes. But I've got to be careful where I put them because I don't want to draw attention to our area. And if we get a strong breeze through here, people will think that Mike Oldfield and his tubular bells is playing in the forest. And I wouldn't wish that. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Stickery. This is what I think is Ogham. And it's a mixture, I believe it's a mixture. See if Dacia Gaea can help. So in the Ogham, it could be, and I say this with caution, but it could be the letter E and A together. It's like the reverse of the Greek A and E. See, it's like an X on a long horizontal, and there are very many different versions of this, and I'm just trying to see if we get anywhere. You see, with Ogham, it looks like an A and an E together, the Greek A. Okay, we'll move along, moving swiftly on. Someone's enjoyed that. Here I am with the sweetie papers in my back pocket again. Going to be looking like I have eaten half a dozen of these when I haven't. But they are lucky that I've left them. The chances are that I would normally think to myself, one for me, none for you. One for me and none for you. Oh. Oh, oh. That's a very clear sort of triangular shape, isn't it? Triangular shape, isn't it? Triangular shape, isn't it? Wow. It's warm. So my question to Dacia Gaea is all of this what can we call it, a hybrid of Futharks, elder, middle and younger Futhark, and or is it also a hybrid using Ogham as well? I understand that it is, because there are some words available in Ogham, or some things they want to say in Ogham, that there isn't the exacting speech in Futhark and vice versa, so they borrow from each. Is that correct? Somewhat. Now, just have a look at this. See what you think, people. Highlighting this. Isn't it funny how the sun shines on it? A cone, 2 cones either side, a bone, cone, and then a long stick. Is that significant? Dashiger. Given that there's another bone here. So he's saying, we have understood the gift. We have understood the gift that the forest or the land, earth gives. We've understood that. And that was that why they were left in that order for us to try and work around. So I think what he's doing is he's showing us little things to understand. In general, if they're taking from the earth, they give their thanks. And we try to put back as well, he's saying. We try to put back also. Right, so he's equating it to like measuring your fish, your crab in the sea. You wouldn't take the babies or the breeding, the breeding mothers. You wouldn't take those. It would be foolish to do that. So you only take those that are big enough so that the harvest is sustainable. And I think that's what these guys do here. They're maintaining this sustainability. So long before all the woke brigade come out with all the green talk and environment stuff, these guys have been doing it long before that. And I think they're saying basically if you take out, you need to replace. I sound like I'm being a bit detrimental towards this environmental lobby, but we're being forced into positions where to have electric cars and the like, and for us it's not going to work because they do not have the range. You're not going to say to somebody up in the Yukon, you need an electric car. They're going to laugh you off the planet. Battery's not going to last 5 minutes. We can try all we want, and it's a good thing we do. Look to see for alternatives, but there's no point in punishing people, making them pay higher rates, etc., when they have no alternative. Otherwise there's going to be huge swathes of rural countryside in Canada, America, Australia, which will be uninhabited, because if they're not allowed to use a fossil fuel and there isn't the replacement there, they're stuck. They cannot travel, they cannot move. And hopefully somebody will get the answer correct. Somebody will find a viable alternative which we can coexist with. Bloody hell. So I'm going to keep my eye focused on this Ogham and see if there are any other varieties of it, and see if we can get to the bottom of some of the messaging, some of the texting. Here's the thing, that's an hour and a half, and I've got 40 minutes of video. At a push, I've got 40 minutes of video. So this is the second time this has happened to me, and I feel like I'm stepping into the back of a clock. But at a push, 40 minutes of video, at a push. But a loss of 40 minutes. And it happened last year as well. And I lost, and I didn't time it. I wish I'd timed it. I didn't time it. I didn't think to time it. And I felt as if I'd lost 5 hours. But it doesn't happen every time. It just doesn't happen every time. And as I'm saying this, I'm hearing Dacia Gay saying to me, "It's the portal, my dear, it's the portal." So I wonder if anybody else who steps into that little area of forest sees the same things that I'm seeing, or whether I'm stepping into something which is only visible within that portal area. I wonder. Anyway, that's it.